Greetings, my people. Greetings. So, this is a video I am so excited to talk about. It's your boy, Demus, the Yardman, aka Young Kim the First. Let's hop right into this one. So, guys, it seems as if Terence Bud Crawford is about to pull the biggest power move in the century. At least the biggest power move since I've been watching the sport of boxing. Let's talk about it. So, in case you haven't been tuned into my previous videos or the boxing world in general, let me just give you an update as to what happened. Mauricio Suleiman of the WBC has seemed to have made the Keith One-Time Thurman versus Mario Barrio fight coming up this Saturday title eliminator fight, henceforth making the winner of this fight the mandatory for the Errol Spence Jr. Jordanis Ugas unification bout scheduled for April. With that being said, it seems like PBC is trying to do a little bit of home cooking. You know, we know these promoters like to keep the belts in-house. You know, they don't like the transfer of property, to say the least. So if Errol Spence or Ugas were to lose the belt, they'd prefer them to lose the belt to somebody within their stable rather than to go with promotional free agent Terence Crawford. And a lot of people, myself included, were not happy with this because there are a number of people who deserve the shot over Keith Thurman. First of all, he's coming off of loss, etc. The list goes on, but this video isn't about Keith One-Time Thurman. This video is about that bad boy from Omaha, Nebraska, Terence Bud Crawford. So, Terence Crawford is looking to potentially vacate his WBO title and go up to the super welterweight, junior middleweight division, whichever you want to crown it, to fight none other than the winner of the Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano fight. Now, mind you, that Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano fight is for the undisputed title. So the winner of that fight will hold all 4 major sanctioning body belts. Now, what does this mean if Terence Crawford goes up to the 154-pound division and beats either Charlo or Castano and takes all those 4 belts? Let's talk about it. Errol Spence can't demand that 60-40 no more. As a matter of fact, some could argue that that fight isn't even 50-50 anymore. The only thing Errol Spence has over Crawford right now, apart from the fact that he has more belts in the welterweight division, is star power, his numbers. His numbers show that his pay-per-views just do better. They both have a common opponent in Sean Porter. Errol Spence versus Sean Porter did over 180,000 more views, buys, than the Terence Crawford versus Sean Porter. Now, in Terence's defense, he said that it is difficult to navigate on the ESPN Plus platform, and I agree. ESPN doesn't make it easy for the fans to get the pay-per-view fights. Nonetheless, no excuse. The facts are the facts. Errol Spence is the bigger star. However, and mind you, you're looking at possibly the biggest Errol Spence Jr. fan there could be. But we're not going to make the feelings override the facts here. If Terence Crawford goes to 154 and beats Jermell Charlo or Brian Castano and becomes undisputed in 2 separate weight classes, he would have been the only boxer in history to be undisputed in 2 different weight classes, for one. And for 2, nobody, and I mean nobody, will be able to deny that he is a bigger star at this point. That will put him on a new level. He will be above Canelo. He'll be above Anthony Joshua. He'll be above Deontay Wilder. He'll be above Errol Spence Jr. He'll be above everybody. He will be the face of boxing if he can pull this off. And I hope he does do it. Because it seems like the PBC and the WBC are trying to pull one over on him. They want to keep it in-house. Now, there are a bit of variables because we all know Errol Spence Jr. has his issues with Keith one-time Thurman, and he's gone so far as to say if to get undisputed he has to go through Keith Thurman, he will vacate his belts and move up to 154. With that being said, if Terence Crawford pulls this off, I might just switch on the bandwagon. No, I'm joking. I won't do that. But my respect for Terence Crawford will go through the roof. And I already have a lot of respect for that man. He's made bad decisions with his career in terms of staying with Top Rank when they weren't giving him the fights. And they have the history of the NBF, the no black fighters and all of that. But this is not about Aram. This is about Bud. If Bud can pull this off, it would be amazing. The biggest power move I have ever seen in boxing today. And this makes me so happy. So happy. Because Terence Crawford moving up would do a lot for the welterweight division. Even though Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford is the fight that everybody wants today, Terence Crawford moving up will do so much for the division. Jaron Ennis will have his shot. Because best believe anybody vacates the belt, the only really two contenders, the only two people you can look to give a fair opportunity at this point, Virgil Ortiz Jr. out of Dallas and Jaron Boots Ennis out of Philly. And those are, I like Virgil Ortiz, but Jaron Boots, that's the boogeyman, man. He has it all. There's nothing he cannot do. I don't even know if he's orthodox or southpaw. He switches so fluidly, and he's so good in both stances, and he doesn't start orthodox all the time or start southpaw. I don't know if he's left-handed or right-handed. He doesn't get hit. He has power. There's no punch he doesn't throw good. He jabs good with his left hand. He jabs good with his right hand. He has a powerful left straight. He has a powerful right straight. He has hooks. He has uppercuts. He has footwork. He has ring IQ. He has it all. So Terence Crawford moving up is a power move not only for him but for the welterweight division, because it's going to force people to fight people they don't want to fight. We already have Keith Thurman saying he don't want to give Jaron Boots Ennis a fight right now because he's focused on the belts, and he says things like, oh, Mayweather and them never gave me my opportunity, yada yada yada. Hush it up. Pacquiao gave you the opportunity, you blew it. You lost. And there's nothing wrong with losing. I'm not one of these guys that say, okay, once you lose, you're done. If you have multiple losses and you lose fights you shouldn't lose, then fine. But I don't think a loss will define a fighter. You know, Mayweather has everybody fooled. You know, everybody's saying things like, oh, this man lost, what has he done, blah, 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 blah. Mayweather had to leverage that. Because when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, before he was Money Mayweather, he was knocking out everybody and he was calling everybody out. He wanted the Shane Mosley fight. Shane Mosley was saying stuff like, I have a toothache. He was calling Diego Corrales out. That fight happened later, and people said Diego Corrales was up past his prime. He personally called Manny Pacquiao and was wiring him a significant sum of money. They said they didn't want to take the blood and doping test. Only 5 years later for him to turn around and say he will do the blood and doping test. So that fight could have happened earlier if Manny Pacquiao decided to take the blood and urine test. Nonetheless, with all this going on, if Terence Crawford moves up to 154 and becomes undisputed in two different weight divisions, because he did it at 140, to go and skip 147 and do it at 154, tremendous. And undoubtedly would have to go down as one of the best of all time. Now, do I think he will beat Jermell Charlo? Because I do expect Jermell Charlo to beat Brian Castagna. That's why I'm emphasizing the Charlo on this one. One is a more appealing fight. America versus America. It's just, it would, you know, I expect Charlo to edge Brian Castagna in March. With that being said, do I think Terence can beat Charlo? He has the skill to do it. The thing is, everybody says, you know, his chin is a bit questionable. We've seen Evas Kavanakas drop him, though unofficially. They never scored it to knockdown. His glove touched the canvas. Anybody with two eyes and a brain could see that. His glove touched the canvas. But he fights this way against people who he thinks he can fight that way against. He's not going to go toe-to-toe with Jermell Charlo. He'll stay on the outside and box him. And don't look at Charlo being 6 feet and Terence Crawford being only, I think he's 5'8" or 5'9". Terence Crawford has a longer reach than Charlo by an inch. So he can stay on the outside and box him. Just keep the stick out there. Jab and move, jab and move. And we've seen that style give Charlo problems. We've seen Tony Harrison outbox Charlo. In both fights he was outboxed. It's just Charlo got to knock him out in the second fight. So, do I think Bud could beat Charlo? My answer is yes. My answer is yes. He has to be responsible. He can't go into a slugfest. But yes, he has the skill to beat him. He's pound for pound number 1. So, if this Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford doesn't happen because PBC and WBC have other plans and they're trying to keep the in-house fight, I want to see Terence Crawford move up. He's been calling out Charlo. Charlo saying stuff like leave me alone, but Charlo is not going to kill his legacy by avoiding a man who's coming up from 140 pounds to 147 to 154. Charlo knows if he avoids that smoke, his career will never be the same and he'll lose fans. This is something we all need to see. With that being said, I'll leave you guys with that for now. Young Kim the First, Demus the Yardman are my aliases. Peace, love, and blessings in abundance. Please like, share, and subscribe to the video. Even dislike, positive, negative comments. Looking for feedback. God bless you all. Beautiful year for boxing so far.